and welcome to Stephen Allen Almost Daily. We're back. It's Tuesday, that's a day. I'm Stephen Allen. If you're watching this for the first time, why? But I've wasted months on this. But more importantly, hello and welcome. It's my little streaming show where we go through loads of things in the news. I think it's still true to say it's the newspaper review show that covers more stories than any other show, because we do too many. Really, barely even get to scratch the surface. Let's not give away the failures of this project. Welcome along. If you're watching the live version on YouTube, you can get into the comments. We've got the comment section. We'll get stuck into there in a second. If you listen to the audio-only version of it, you can't comment, but you can email me at mrstephenallen.co.uk. We've actually got an email session later on in the show, and loads of stuff, loads to get through. So let's talk about this comment section. I see people are already getting involved in much discussion there, mainly offering each other cups of tea by the looks of it. There's one bit where, is it Chris? So Chris is here. Hello, Chris. Says that tea should be the colour. There's only one kind. Oh, no, that's Joodles. There's only one kind of tea, and that's the stuff you can stand your spoon up in. Then Chris says it should be the colour of He-Man's face. When I first read that, I was glancing through the comments before I started the show. I thought you said it should be the colour of a man's face. And I was thinking, oh, we're going to get in trouble for that one. No, man, no, you can get fired off talk for less than that, can't you? And Charlotte's here. OMG, Steve, you are the rose between two thorns in that pic on the profile pic of the stream. Thanks to Proper Memes, who just sent that. He made it with his AI. And yeah, I'm between an alien and David Lammy. One of the two has absolutely no ability to relate to the human condition. Yes, see where that one's going. And let's have a look. Chris Hood says, Schmeagol, what have I done? Why should I? Oh, because we're stupid. I made a list in the audio-only version of this podcast a while ago of all the impressions we've done on the show, and it's worryingly big for a man who does not do impressions. Proper Me says, between an alien and a grey... Oh, I don't know, you're going to get me in trouble. He took like the man's face. Lammy wishes he was elevated to the status of Thorn. Thorn, at least, shows an ability to develop through phototropism. So I think we've all got good points coming in there. Charlotte's there, Chris is there, Proper Memes is there, Joodles is there. We're thinking right up today. If you're also watching, slap some comments in there. What are we going to do? We can start with the front pages. Not loads in the front pages, to be fair. So let's just crack straight into it. Let's do the jingle.
Here are today's front pages.
Yes, there are the front pages. By the way, I've changed the text slightly. I spent the weekend... What did you do with your weekend? I spent the weekend using the playout system, OBS, developing macros that when I press a button and play a jingle, I then have to press the button normally to hide the jingle, so if I press it again, it plays. That's old school. That's the kind of people that's the kind of thing non-nerds do. People like me spend ages developing a macro, so whenever I fire a media source, at the end of it playing, it triggers a thing that then hides it automatically, so I just have to press it once. Should have written jokes, I suppose. Anyway, so there we go. Let's get the front pages up. We start with The Times. Well, they got OBR boss quits after PM's budget leak rebuke. There's a thing... I can do it now, actually. We've got that as an actual news story from later in the papers. The actual story, think it's all OBR. It is now. It's a terrible headline, if we're brutally honest. Gaff boss out. The boss of the budget... that's confusing. The budget watchdog has quit after the shambolic leak of Chancellor Rachel Reeves' plans last Wednesday. What was worse, the budget or the leak of the budget? Well, apparently it's the leak. Here's the thing, though. There he is. Is it just me, or does it look like he's trying to audition for a part on TV show The MASH Report back in the early 2000s? Here he is. Here he is. Let's move that out of the way. I think it who wore it best, because we've got that. And if we bring up the front pages, I managed to find a picture of me on the internet. You know what I'm saying? This guy's sneaking my style. And if the TV show does come back, I think they're more likely to recast him than they are me to play me. Because these days, he's out of work, and I've worked for a channel that probably means I don't get booked on the BBC anymore. So, okay. Let's see what's happening in the comments over here. I see someone said, ouch, so I imagine there's an insult about me. Slaps the chat around a bit with a large trout. Ouch, what's happened? He's gone all Merkin. Yeah, American. It's not me, it's the technology. And, oh, Justin's here. Hello. Has that alien been doing any probing? Mind your own business. What I get up to on the weekends is between me and whomever wishes to probe me. No, I gave away too much information. Good audio podcast material there. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. For those listening, if we're doing an audio narration thing, hello. If you weren't seeing the audio, you've just witnessed, you just missed seeing pictures of Steve and someone who looks a bit like Steve. And that's it for narration. My old friend, Andy Dufresne. The end. So that's it. The show should be narrated by Morgan Freeman. It's not. Blimey, you look better these days. Do you mean there was the picture of the other guy? That wasn't me. Probably, is that what you mean? And Justin saying, ouch. I don't know what about. Probably, hopefully, the ribs. ASMR voice, Steve. Andy Dufresne. Right, back into the front pages. I'm getting all distracted. I like this one. Clever boys aren't jealous guys when it comes to love. Clever men have long had a reputation for being good with abstract problems, but poor with romantic feelings. I don't know. I kind of feel like a relationship is an abstract problem. Therein lies the rub. That would make it better. But apparently research in the United States have analysed the attitudes of those with abilities of some heterosexual men, all of whom had been in a relationship for at least 6 months, found that particular strain of intelligence tended to be linked to health. God, they take a while. It's the front page as well. You think you get to the flipping point on a front page of a newspaper. Basically, men who scored higher on those kind of tests were less likely to have insulted their partners. You're a fluid reasoning. Now, that sounds dirty. And if you are good with fluid reasoning, no wonder your missus puts up with it. That's not the point, is it? Spotting patterns and completing sequences. No kidding. I'll tell you what's happening here. I'm glad you asked. You want to be good at relationships, have the ability to predict the future and guess what people are thinking. Duh! Of course, that was always going to be the thing. There was a news story that got covered in a live streaming thing we did during the lockdown when all you could do is live stream. Some science show I was on as a guest. And they were talking about being sensitivity. And women often say they want a man who's sensitive. And I'm sorry, you don't mean that. You don't mean the word sensitive. Sensitive, easily offended, likely to cry a lot. You don't want that. What you mean by sensitive is the ability to know what you meant, even though you didn't say it clearly. You want clairvoyancy. You say you want sensitive, you want mind readingness. You want someone who's good at fluid reasoning and predicting patterns. And you're up to date. And there's Kylie Minogue. Yep. No, there's no reason not to just see a picture of Kylie there, is there? I bet she's not spinning around anymore at her age, is she? Front page of The Guardian. OBR, done that story. 25 ways to get into the Christmas spirit. I'm fine, thanks. It will happen. Don't force it. Don't force me. Wait. I popped this in there because of the Tulip Sadiq story. There's an actual full video that I did on it on my YouTube. And you're on my YouTube to go and have a look. It was fun getting to the bottom of that particular issue. But now she's been sentenced to 2 years in jail, but not here in Bangladesh. So as long as she never goes to Bangladesh, she'll probably be fine. It's interesting because if you get a sentence of over a year in the UK and you're a sitting MP, you lose the gig, don't you? But I suppose it can't count in other countries. Otherwise, that we could have great fun just sending other people's parliaments to prison. Just have a bit of a laugh, wouldn't it? NHS to pay 25% more for new drugs in the US trade deal. Great. And I think, no, we're up to date with that story, so that's just miserable. So that's all the front pages. Before we go any further, more comments, I suppose, would be the thing to do. I've had to turn my hearing aid up. What? Was the Morgan Freeman not loud enough? Is it all loud enough? Sensitive equals quiet, says Martin. I think you're onto something. I want someone who's sensitive, you know, the one who just shuts up. Strong, silent type. Definitely the silent type. That's what they want. An emotional man is hot. It depends what emotions you're talking about, doesn't it? Because emotion would also describe someone who's just full of rage, like Bane. He was an emotional man. Is that what you want? Have a nice candlelit dinner with someone. Turn the lights down. Nice, you know, the glow of a candle, and he's like, I was born in the dark. You merely adopted it. It's the only quote I can do from that film. Something about theatricality, I can't remember. And does that mean Lewis could actually run for PM then? I just had one of those Doctor Strange flash forwards to the future and imagine that world. Do me in now. Not the ones who cry over what to have for dinner, but you get what I mean. That's what I mean. You say emotional. There's also the bad side. Sensitive. I want a sensitive man. No. You want a man who's good with fluids or whatever that thing was. Right. You can also get in touch with the show by emailing. I do have an email for us to look at today. me@mrstephenallen.co.uk. I don't get a lot of emails on the show, so not a lot to pick from. So we can do this one. Here's an email from Rita, who writes the entire thing in the subject field. Always a good sign of a good emailer. Hello. I'm very glad when I last saw your nice profile through my friends. Well, it's translucent friends. Feels like you buried the lead there. That would be a bigger story. On my friends' likes. No possessive apostrophes. That's probably the least of this person's problems. Space, comma, no space. I fell like being your friend as well, but due to some bad people in the media, I think I work for those bad people in the media, or at least with them. I used to work with some of them. Don't have a go at the bad people in the media. They pay my bills. I felt bad to text you, but I hope you will be real. Out of the two of us, I don't think me being real is our problem, Rita. I am here to have a nice information from me to you if you really need it. Do I need a nice information? I won't say no to it because I don't know what that is. If the nice information could tell me what a nice information is, I feel like you could really elucidate things. I would be very happy if you could send me a friend request now. No thanks, Rita. And that's all the emails we've been getting. If you'd like to email the show, me@mrstephenallen.co.uk. Boom. What we got going on here? Oh, Emsicles is here. Hello, Ems. She fell for you. Well, she fell like something, didn't she? She didn't feel like it, and she didn't felt like it. She fell like it, which is worse. You're right. Because if you feel like emailing, that's an emotion, and we know people like emotions. If you fell like emailing, you email and you could break your hip. Be careful out there, people. Oversensitive says Justin equals not quiet. That's the problem, isn't it? Judel says, isn't every man good with fluids? What? Steady on. Let this stream get taken down. Well, not that stream. From my experience, hang on, steady on. Hey, it's all going there. A pedantic grammar. You're right. I imagine Rita watches the show and sends an email that mangled simply just to get this.
Don't you mean?
And Steve's superhero name is The Punctuator. And speak it profile the ink. I'm not reading that out because I'll end up sounding more offensive than you've typed it. And right, there we go. We're up to date. Keep them coming through. Before we go too much further into the actual newspapers, just because you've got to try and do the best you can these days to make money online, we'll be back after these messages. Hello? Yeah, no, I know. I said I'd get you the money, and I'm trying. Well, just things have been a bit tight recently. Well, I'm now live streaming on YouTube, so no, of course I'm not monetized. No, I get money by people donating tips to things like Ko-fi.com/Mr. Stephen Allen, or they can subscribe to Substack.com at Mr. Stephen Allen. Yeah. Well, obviously I'm not making a lot that way. It will take me a while to pay off the debt, that's all. Oh, right. Oh, so you're going to break my fingers so I never play the piano again? Well, joke's on you. I play the harmonica. It's gone. Flipping HMRC. So, we're back. Welcome to part 2. Let's get inside the newspapers and do some of the reviewing.
Let's get inside the news.
Start off with Andrew, you've just got to go. This is the story that Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor has finally been stripped of his final 2 titles by the King. The former prince had his membership, steady on, of the Order of the Garter cancelled by his brother. Yeah, that'll get him. I'm still not sure if any of this is a punishment. Do you know what I mean? We've talked about this before, that all that's happened is he's now the same as the rest of us, but still does all right. So is that much of a punishment? And I didn't. So he's lost. He'd not lost the dukedom. We had this before in the comment section. He's still a duke. He just doesn't use that title. He's not a prince. Now he's not an Order of the Garter. It sounds like some sort of kinky wear, doesn't it? But I don't think it is. But sure, he's got some friends. I am trying to start a campaign to legally force him to have to get rid of the Mountbatten because it sounds too posh. I think if you really want to punish him, a double barrel name is too posh for the likes of him. He should be Andy Windsor, and no more than that. I can let on TV. You could say the guy formerly known as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor before we made him get rid of that Mountbatten-y thing. You can have it as a middle name, but no hyphens for you. You're wrongin'. Front page. Oh, another front page inside the newspapers. Oh, I'm going to talk about this one. David Lammy. Jury acts will help victims. Oh, of course. Of course. So if you were thinking that being stripped of the right to have your court case seen by a jury decided upon by your peers, you thought that was some sort of absolute flipping wrong move. No, you're the one who's wrong because he's doing it to help other people. This is not just some sort of power grab to make sure that the people don't get a say. You know how much they like people. No. This is to help people. David Lammy has spent all morning going even further than this on various media outlets that I was listening to. And the story that he tells, it's got an R word in which I know you can't really say, a name of a crime, also of a seed oil. I think we know what we're talking about. You can't really say it on YouTube without that flagging some sort of problems. He's been saying if you're a victim of this particular seed oil, you wouldn't get your court case heard for like 3 years. So we've got to stop criminals, we've got to stop shoplifters having juries. Huh? We just make them go first. If only there was some secretary who's in charge of justice who could decide, it's you flipping idiot. And also, it's a bit cheeky when he says, like, if you've just been accused of a theft from a shop, do you really need your trial heard by jury? And I agree with him. What an absolute slam dunk there, you genius. If you've nicked some stuff from a shop, a couple of phones from a mobile shop, right? No, you don't need to have a jury. Get the judge to send you down. Unless, of course, you think that you're not guilty, in which case then it's the shop's word against you. And we just need to first decide who's right in this. You saying you're innocent or the shop saying you're guilty. We could do that by having some sort of a process where the evidence is heard, and then you could have that decided upon by, people like you, right-minded folks, on a jury. This one really depresses me. Your thoughts, welcome in the comment section. I will say I've only ever once been invited to do jury service, which I feel is a shame because I could really do some damage. I could really speed things up. I'll video call it in. Send me all the details of the court case. I'll do a one-man jury on you. I'll sort them out. I'll sort them right out. No smoke without fire. No, that's not the right attitude, is it? So I was called up for jury duty when the pandemic was on. And I think it was because I've done it now. It's really unlikely to do it again. Like you're at the back of the queue or something for it. So I guess I don't have to worry about this. As a freelancer, it's the biggest worry that all of a sudden the nation can go, you are coming here and listening to a long court case and you get some money for it, but you have to cancel all your work, which in the freelance world means you ain't getting booked again. You're booked into a newspaper review. Brilliant. Take a week off. They'll find someone else. Just use them instead. Bosh. That's how it goes. So I was terrified about what was going to happen, but it happened to me when I wasn't allowed to work anyway. So I thought, great, I'm not going to lose any work. I'm getting paid. Bring it on. And every single day I received a text message saying, you're not needed today. Best to stay at home for COVID-related reasons. Did that for 5 days. That's it. Got paid. Although, to be fair, getting paid to stay at home wasn't like the most unique thing that happened during lockdown, was it? So there we go. Let's have a look. Where do we get to? I love Battenberg. What's happening in this shirt? What? Yes, Mountbatten Battenberg. He's not allowed to call himself that. Oh, I'd be furious. I'd be absolute. Batten and Berg says proper means. Two of the things he deserves, as in being hit with a baton and being made to make sweet love to Ella. What's the name of the woman with Russ Abbott? Bella Emberg. That's the one. I presume that's what you're talking about. Judel says, OMG, I'm in a lake of loons. There is that as a possibility. And best way to be, Judel says Charlotte. And to be fair, I'm not complaining. Do you know what? We're all a bit like that these days. We've all lost the plot somewhat. Right, into the next story. Kellogg's crunchy nut size is shrunk. It happens to us all when you get older. What? Large boxes of Kellogg's Crunchy Nut cereal now have one less serving, but still cost the same. Shrinkflation, man. This is what gets me. The latest example of sneaky shrinkflation to hit hard-up shoppers. Tesco's flogging 460-gram packets for £3.40. A 500-gram box, which is no longer available on the supermarket's website, costs the same amount. Oh, I see. So they're just... Yeah, they try... To be fair... You can go off brand. Don't do your Kellogg's. That's ridiculously expensive unless it's really on sales. Plus, also, Kellogg's recommends a 30-gram portion. Why? Are you starving yourself to death? You're on a hunger strike. What? If it's crunchy nut connoisseurs miss out on... so their advice is, yes, it's shrinkflation. We're charging you the same for a smaller box, but it's not shrinkflation if you eat less of it each time. Isn't that still... shrinkflation, just further down the chain? Nothing to do with Tesco, Gov. It's your own portions. Your bowls are too big. That's where they've gone with this one. Charlotte says, why do the nuts have to shrink? Well, I think if you have too much iron in your diet, one of the side effects for iron poisoning is shrunken testes. And if you get a lot of iron by eating a lot of red meat, I'm not saying we all know someone who eats a lot of red meat. Just saying he's probably got really tiny gonads. I think that's what we're saying. I think that's the end of... Bellerenberg, yeah, says Martin, and it's because of the cold spell. Yes, it probably is. A lot of the cold spells are attacking things. You've got to watch out for that. Still, meanwhile, in other news, escalator ill-use rap. Anytime there's a news story that has rap in the headline, I am tempted to get AI to drop a beat and for me to give it some... But we're not going to do that. No, we're not doing that today. Escalators. A woman has appeared in court charged with walking the wrong way on a rail station escalator. You know what, David Lammy? You were right all along. I think if the courts are seeing these cases, we probably could just speed things up a little bit. If there are genuinely people out there who've been subject to some seed oil type attack, and they are later in the justice process than someone who went the wrong way on an escalator, don't get me wrong, I hate if you stand on the left. I hate you. And that's why we shouldn't have the death penalty in the UK, because I'd vote for left standards on escalators. But still, the idea of walking the wrong way on an escalator, not the biggest crime. Imagine that she wouldn't have known. She would have been like, oh, I'll nip up there. I've always wanted to do the challenge of like running up and down one to really get my steps in when I was younger and had the knees that could handle it. But she would have done this, gone the wrong way on an escalator. The next thing, people kick off, you expect that. Then the police turn up, you don't expect that. Then they charge you, you don't expect that. Then you end up in court. And at some point, she must have been tempted to say, whew, that escalated. Dun, 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 dun. And, or maybe it's just me. Maybe that's the only reason I would have done that crime. Hey, proper memes got to the same joke first. There we are. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, Martin got there as well. Okay, well, maybe no one needs me if we're all doing the same jokes. No rap, sad face. So I'm not rapping today. We've already had an advert. What more do you need? Whereas meanwhile, oh no, please don't, says Charlotte. Rapping's not the same as singing. I think I'm allowed to do that. Rap corner with Larry Entz. We've not worked out how to do Larry on the show yet because I'm a bit too in vision, but we'll see. We needed a studio audience, says Proper Memes. Well, he's got me a studio audience, remember? There must have been a bit where she thought, I got arrested, I got charged, I went to court. That escalated. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm here most of the week. Oh, by the way, in case you're thinking, he did send another one. Proper Meme sent another one saying, where have they all gone? Where have they all gone? I don't think I've got it on my thing to fire in. Please. Oh. No, I didn't load it in. We do have the ability to play... Oh, yeah, I can do it manually. If ever you wondered where all this audience sits in the studio, he sent me one. And it is truly terrifying. want to play that for you again. There are a few things to watch out for. Firstly, how ugged up our faces get. That's weird. The first guy who sat to my left goes from being a woman to being a guy, which I know offends a lot of people these days. So we might be broadcasting to the wrong audience to show someone transitioning live on a web stream. And then, check the back row. Halfway through the applause, 2 other people just lean up. What were they doing down there? I'm going to play it again. And then if you want to see it again, go back to the live stream. So here we go. Yeah. What were they doing down there? No wonder they look so happy. Thank you for that. Back into the news. Oh, we should do some comments in a second. I'll do this one first. A stockbroker is out to triumph for Britain by becoming the globe's best spreadsheeter. I already have a lot of sympathy for this guy because in the olden days, like when your Olympics were happening, they were the skills that you needed back then. The ability to run, throwing a javelin, well, you all know what that's for. The shot put, all of these things are useful in the kind of wars and battles and the everyday strife that you had back then, in the olden days. Swimming fast, swimming fast, swimming with the other ones. What are the skills you need these days? This dude, spreadsheeting. So this is really the appropriate Olympics. The Greeks were of their time. His name, I'm not going to do the accent, but I will do a different accent because I can't do the accent that fits his name. I can do Southern America. Oh, dang. Made it worse, didn't it? But I think a Texan would really struggle with this guy. Of Scunthorpe, right, is looking forward to competing at the Microsoft Excel World Championship in Vegas after winning the UK crown. Good. It's the kind of thing where if you come first or second or third, or 4. I imagine there's a big, long list of... It's not just going to be a podium of 3, is it? There's going to be a big, long, tabulated list with a vertical look-up table. They're going to be pivoting all over the place. Good luck to them. Yeah, I thought there'd be some things about his name in the comments. But I have to double-check before I read any of them out. Why, I do declare, says Charlotte. Why, I do declare, hard dang. We're here to ascertain the verisimilitude of my client. This is why I should be in the courts. Judel says, I'm going to have nightmares about that now. I just know it. Me too. It's weird, isn't it? Yeah. And I don't even want to ask which one in the audience I am. You just don't want to be the guy who starts out as a woman and as soon as the camera pulls back, turn him into a dude. And then the others will pop up there, do that, and then crack on. What are you saying happens in my audience? Hi, how dang. I do declare. We're here to ascertain the verisimilitude of my client. Yule din's done to save 3 hours. A mum has made Christmas dinner a month early so she can save 3 hours on the big day. Claire, lovely. There she is. Look, Claire. Does it zoom in more if I do this? I think it's slightly. Bless you, Claire. That's really clever. Because no one wants a Christmas day where you're too busy cooking on the day when everyone cooks. You don't want to do that. Because you'd miss the thing. What you want instead is to do it on the 2nd of December. And that way, it's not just about whether it's cold or not, because you can heat things up, can't you? It's the fact that it's gone off. That's the best thing. You want month-old food that you could heat it up, and no one's going to eat it because of all the poisoning, the food poisoning that they get. So you don't waste time eating. Because Christmas Day can be 3 hours of cooking, 2 hours of eating. What are you going to do with your day? Instead, make the food off. You want it to be off so that no one, you dish it out, 10 minutes, 20 minutes of food, of table prep, don't eat it, throw it away, crack on with your day. Open up the heroes. Well done. Foghorn Leghorn. Why I do declare. Better than the audience in Orpington. That's a good point. If you don't know what we're talking about, I once did a gig to a nude audience in Orpington. Yeah, I still say I like performing to nudists because when they sit down, it sounds like you've had a round of applause. Who's waking up with me at 5:30 on Christmas Day? Well, no one wants to wake up that early to cook. You want some gone-off food. Some lucky bloke says proper memes. All right, saucy. It's all happening, isn't it? And real bestie Martin says, I'm taken, sorry. I do that when I'm on stage as well, going, sorry, ladies. So far, there's been little crying. By the way, I did say last night on Twitter that there was some side cam news. Just before we started the show, the doorbell to my house rang. I've got a doorbell repeater in here, which I always have it automatically turned off. When I voice control the backlights, it mutes the doorbell thing. Because I didn't want to be on Talk TV or Times Radio, one of those where I do remotely, here, and then someone drops off a parcel and we hear the doorbell, especially as I've not been able to change the chime on the doorbell. It's not a ding-dong, it's chime one. Don't do the ding-dong joke. We've all just thought of it. No. Don't mention the spreads. No, we're not talking about spreadsheets in this bit. Naughty. Instead, I wanted to point out that chime one on my doorbell repeater was "We wish you a Merry Christmas," which would be fine now. It'd be annoying that the doorbell goes off, but if I'm on Talk Radio in July and all of a sudden ding, 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 ding. So it's muted, but I get the alarm on the phone. Someone's dropped off a parcel. It could be the side cam. Ding, ding, ding. I need that as a jingle as well. But upset, controversy and controversy, both. Last night, I was rejigging to do some filming in here for some adverts asking for money. And I plugged in something. I plugged in side cam. It worked. It's back on, but it's different. I messed around with all the drivers and stuff, so it's not identifying it as the camera it did before. It comes up as like an IS something or other weird camera. And I think it's too bleached out. Also, we've got LED lights in the background, like I'm a proper influencer. I needed them for the... You've not even seen what... You don't know yet. You don't know what we need it for. But it's just not right, is it? It's not like before. It don't look right. It's... In the past... The grayscale nature of it, I have like a LUT thing on there, makes it grayscale. It used to bring out the beard. I would say, it made me a little bit sexy when I used to do the face. Right? I tried to do the sexy face, and it looked. Let's try and do the sexy face on this camera. See what happens. You ready? Not great content for the audio only ones, but try and be sexy. It don't work anymore. I used to Jason Statham it. You're not a salmon. The audio description for those listening online. My old friend Andy Dufresne does not look sexy. Well, let's hope the other one arrives. So we've got the old one, which is working now. The new one, the AI one, we're gonna get it. It's definitely gonna get it. The lights in the background, by the way, I can show you the lights because don't forget we have Shed Cam available to us. Some blue LEDs to make it look all fancy. No, wrong one. You're up to date. Let's go back into the news. I like this story. This is Tip Top Trumps. That's a good headline. To be fair, well done. Donald Trump, his medical scans shows he's in perfect health. Is he? Come on, I'm in my mid to late 40s, and even I had to stop running a couple of weeks ago because my knee hurts and I've not been able to go back. Is he in perfect health? It says he pledged to release the results of his MRI scan. The only time... No, come on, look at the battle over the Epstein things. Apparently, at some point, we'll find out his MRI scans, which he said would prove his health was perfect. The US president, 79, had a physical exam at a military base. Here's my favourite bit. He claimed... Oh, sorry, I was reading off the page that I can read and you can't. He claimed he had no idea which part of his body got MRI'd. It doesn't matter what your results are, doesn't it? If you don't know which bit you just put in the machine, would that not be the first question? You need an MRI. Okay, why? Which bit you're scanning? Because in the same way, if you go to the doctors with a cough and they say just slip your trousers off, you want to know what's happening, don't you? You want to. Okay, why? Why are we doing this? If they get you to pop your trousers off and just get on the bench, I think it's a sign that maybe mentally you're not fully there. I just say. We'll find out more when he releases the results, which I'm sure will never happen. The Orange Man Baby, that's some quality journalism. Is it the Mirror? No, it's the Star that always does that. We always go with tabloids. And to be fair, we get the odd one from the Metro in here because I nick one on the way back from the train station. Sun, I get them for free when I do Times. If ever I do Times or Talk Radio, you'll notice suddenly There's a sun gets involved. You get them for free when you turn up there. Synced and focused. That's the problem with the camera, isn't it? I think you might be right. That's why it's happened. And no, it still has the same effect. Trust me. Hang on. He's not at all fat. We're talking about. Does the side cam make me look fat? It is. It's more synced than it was before. Yeah, you're right. Use a different driver. The orange, no, done that one. Joodles, he didn't claim that, surely. What's happened here? Joodles. Like his golf stats match Rory's. Depends which Rory. It's some bloke called Rory. He probably did, Martin, at some point. Like a dog. How about this one? All the rage. Previously on the show, we were talking about this. What's going to be the word of 2025? Well, rage bait has been named the word of the year for 2025 by Oxford English Dictionary. The terms refer to posting content online deliberately designed to provoke anger and boost engagement. And we've been chatting online about why I'm not successful. There it is. The one thing I refuse to do. I refuse to do this when I turn up to studios where they want this to happen. And so I'm certainly not going to do it everywhere else. The idea of just, if I say this, I might not mean it, but it'll make everyone angry. Then you get the engagement. I'm the antithesis of this. I turn up and do newspaper reviews where people go, look at the headline. And they go, that headline's got nothing to do with it. The best example of this was a story we were sent out when Headliners was a thing about the people behind, what's the TV show? The nuts. I'm going to get myself one of them MRIs. The Killing Eve. That one. That's the name of a show, isn't it? Killing Eve. Killing Eve producers are to make a selection of knives, of kitchen knives. How outrageous. This was in the Daily Mail. How outrageous that the producers of Killing Eve would make kitchen knives? You sick faces. That wasn't the story. You read down the bottom, they took out a patent to stop anyone else making it. They effectively copyrighted them so that no one could make it because it would be sick if there were Killing Eve branded knives. So, so if you go through the stories, you can often say, oh, look, there's no reason to be angry about this. They've deliberately misunderstood it in the headline, and that's what I do for a living. So there you go. No wonder I'm not famous. Yeah, good point, actually, Justin. Rage bait is 2 words. That bothers me as well. That these days, word of the year is always 2 words. Sickens me. You mean phrase of the year. Why do we have phrasal verbs if we're suddenly going to not pay attention to the fact that some things take more than 1 word? Huh? Answer me that.
Don't you mean...
Good point. My favourite phrasal verb thing happened when I was on an 82 bus in Finchley. Used to live in Finchley, and we're heading into London, and there was a spare seat next to me, and there was a guy, to put it politely, his English was not his first language, and he wanted to know if he could sit next to me, and I said, knock yourself out. And he was appalled. But he didn't sit next to me, so it's worth trying, isn't it? You never know. Right, meanwhile, keep the comments coming through. I did get sent... Where's this one? Oh, this one requires this jingle. Aliens. And here's the story. Bid to search Saturn moon. Boffins plan to launch a spacecraft to hunt for aliens hiding in our solar system. The European Space Agency announced the mission on to Saturn's 6th largest moon, Enceladus, which has the ingredients for life. Yeah. So I would say this: if there are aliens in this close and they've not made that extra couple of planets journey, they're not interested. They've received our radio signals because, before everything was digital, when it was actually just broadcast on FM, AM, all of these ones, this is just electromagnetism. That wave propagates infinitely. Obviously, eventually, due to the expansion of the universe, the frequency gets lowered until it's just pointless background radiation, microwave. But until then, aliens could intercept all of these photons, decode it, take a look at us and go, yeah, I ain't going in there. They could have been watching Sky News for decades, going like, not for us. So maybe we don't try and find them. Do you know what I mean? Also, I once wrote a joke about Saturn's moon, and it got me in trouble. When I was at university, I wrote jokes for radio stations, and I went to university in Birmingham, and one of the local station there was one of the Heart FM ones. When there was just London and then Birmingham, Heart 107 or something in Birmingham, or 100.7, and I wrote jokes for their breakfast show. And one of them was they discovered water on Saturn's moon, Titan. They're all the pieces you need to know to make this joke work. And I said that it discovered water on Saturn's moon, Titan. And my punchline was, a wet Titan sounds like a good evening in. Thank you. And then they didn't use many of my jokes after that, because you can't broadcast stuff like that on the radio. So we're nearly up to date. This is I know this is a pointless story. Sorry to end on it. Co-op bosses reckon they've turned the tide on crime after spending £240 million on anti-crime measures. Chief at the grocery giant says crimes are down 15%. Yeah, I guess it'll pay off eventually, but are you not annoyed that you have to deal with this stuff? When you go into your local supermarket and they've got those plastic things, and you've got to slide them. It's like being in the flipping crystal maze. Fucking trying to get through. Want me liquid tabs. The liquid tabs are particularly annoying in my local one. You move them all the way to the side, you still can't get a hand in there, and then you can't get the damn things out. They have cut crime. They've also cut shopping. Feels like not the thing I wanted to do, but there we go. Yeah, you're up to date. So, final one then. Almost Daily doesn't broadcast to space. That's why aliens aren't interested. Good point, because it's on the internet. Paul is one of my favourite films, Aliens. Eyebrow lift. Oh, where's it gone? I can't. It's weird, isn't it? An eyebrow lift used to look sexy on the side cam. Try again. It's like I've forgotten what sexy is. That's my evening sorted tonight. And Co-op estimated the 240 million investment will save them 14 million. Worthwhile. I suppose it's worthwhile. But they've not factored in how much I will go elsewhere if I have to do a flipping krypton factor to get to me liquid tabs. Justin retracted a message. Don't blame you. And watching Paul. Even that sounds creepy. And your evening will be spent watching Paul. Does he know? Maybe change to Steve N. Allen. What have I done? And don't watch me all evening. I know I'm doing a gig tonight and a gig tomorrow. Well, more on that in a little while. 100.7. Yeah. Birmingham's Heart 100.7. Can't remember the names of the two presenters in the morning, but I bet they got in trouble for doing that joke. Yeah, I think we're all up to date. Oh, we can't go without this.
Here are the plugs where you can see Steve and Helen all this week.
Right. Here's what I'm getting up to for the rest of this week. Stephen Alien. I read it now. I see it now. Wednesday, talk radio at 6 p.m. where I'll be. Don't know yet. They asked me if I could do it last week and I couldn't, and I had some space today, so I don't know what I'm doing. Doing it from the studio, so I won't nick a copy of The Sun. Doing it from my home studio, I mean. So hope the doorbell won't be giving it some. And then that night, Alton at Goldfinch Books. Look at me doing gigs in bookshops. Normally I need a drunken crowd, isn't it? It's not going to work. Thursday, GB News, 11 p.m. Reviewing the newspapers, so you don't have to review the newspapers, do you? Friday, in Kingston, where I'll be doing some jokes on stage. I think I'm emceeing either Saturday's Wimbledon. So one of them I'm opening, the other one I'm emceeing. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm on stage and talking some sort of rubbish. I think that's it. That's all I'm getting up to. That's the narration done. My old friend, Andy Dufresne. I'm not hitting it today. Yesterday, did a really good Morgan for a thing on the radio. Oh, thing on the radio. Yeah. I'm doing All Hit Radio from 1 today and every weekday on the radio, All Hit Radio. So you can go and get that, listen to the audio-only podcast. I don't know if I can get loads done this week, actually. There might not be loads in there. We'll do another one of these on Thursday, if you're interested in it. Hang on, some more comments coming through. Get your plugs out. That does need a sound effect, doesn't it? Where we need, like, plugs in, the sound effect of a socket, thing, and then plugs out like a... I need to get into doing sound effects like that guy in Police Academy. That's what this show's missing. We've been searching around. What's this show missing? Audience. But other than that, what's this show missing? And I think it's doing sound effects. Kingston again says proper memes. I know. I guess they want me back. What can I say? Wimbledon will be a grand slam. Another sound effect. Jamaica. No, she went of her own accord. Are we doing those jokes now? When I was at school... we went through a list of all of the towns in the world to do those jokes, me and a mate. And we went through Jakarta. No, she put her on a plane. Hamina was one of the grosser ones. We love a flash. Well, I'm not promising that. And I think we're up to date with all of the things we need. Sexy just got censored. That's the thing. That's what it used to. And now, for some reason... It used to be sexy, and now it doesn't work anymore, does it? So I'm going to go and check the front door, see if the new camera's arrived. I've not had an email about it. You never know. We could be saying goodbye to this. At least it's working now. Somehow it's working. Look at this. Look at the backdrop on this bad boy. Thank you for your participation. Like, subscribe, all the other things, because it helps the YouTube channel. We'll do another one on Thursday at 12. When this is processed for like 24 hours, YouTube process it and then come back and leave an actual comment on the thing if you fancy. That helps. Thank you to Joodles and Charlotte who did one on the other one. We've got an update on her ribs. How are your ribs, by the way? How are the... Hamina is in Finland. Yeah. My wife went to Finland. Hamina... Come on... No, she put it in the suitcase. Do you know what I mean? It was something like that. There are so many... You just look for a place name that has an at the end of it, and you're golden. There's a joke to be done. There's an absolute ton of jokes. Jakarta, Sofia, easy one for Bulgaria, is it? You think of them. Let's have a look. Thumb it, back cam. It gives away the bald spot too much. I think I don't... If I put a camera back there is a chance you might notice I am somewhat thinning. Alaska, exactly. My wife went to wherever Alaska is. Alaska, all right, fair enough. She'll agree. She'll only back me up on this. You know what I mean? So many jokes that you could do. That's your homework between now and Thursday. Find a place name with the at the end of it, and we'll see what we can do. All I can do is lay back... What's happening over there? Hopefully by Thursday, we might have the side cam on the thing. I'll also learn to... This one could be over here. We could do a side cam over here, and then you get to see what's on this side of the room, which is even... I'll have to tidy that boy up. That's where the toolbox is. You don't know what kind of toolbox I'm talking about. There's a spanner involved. Thank you very much. Emails. Oh, Ko-fi, Substack, all that. You know what you're dealing with. Till next time. Bye.